Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Stateside Footy. Before we get into today's video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of Stateside Footy's upcoming content. Today is Monday, and that means it is time for another edition of Yanks Abroad. It's our weekly recap of U.S. men's national team players applying their trade overseas. And like we do every single week, we begin in England. And of course, it's the Premier League. And we begin with Anthony Robinson, whose Fulham side went to the Etihad to take on Manchester City, and they ended up losing 3-2. But this was not your typical Anthony Robinson performance. I rated him out at a 5.5. He did play the full 90 in this one, but he was 0 for 3 on successful dribbles, 2 of 6 on crosses, and 1 of 3 of long balls. It just wasn't his afternoon, but that's going to happen when you play Manchester City. They are that good when it comes to stifling the opponent's attack. But the good news is we are coming into an international break, so this is an opportunity for Anthony to get right. And I fully expect that he is going to do that against Panama and Mexico. These two matches are tailor-made for how Mauricio Pochettino is going to attack, and Anthony Robinson is going to be a full participant in that. And I just expect that when we come back off that international break, he's going to pick up right where he left off last week. So, it's going to happen when you face Manchester City. As we drop down now to the championship, we begin with Josh Sargent. His Norwich City team beat Hull City 4-0, and in this one, Josh scored again. I had him rated out at a 7.9. He played 81 minutes in this one. He had 1 goal on 3 shots. He was 9 of 10 on passes, 15 touches, 5 inside the opposite box, and he actually made the championship team of the week. He was that good, and I fully expect Josh to be the starter versus Panama as we come into it. They did bring in Brandon Vasquez to take over for Balogun, but of the strikers that are in camp, Josh Sargent is the one that's most in form, and I expect him to start right away for the USMNT against Panama. Turning to Leeds United, and more specifically, Brendan Aronson. Leeds drew with Sunderland 2-2, and it was just a terrible, absolute terrible way to finish that game off, leading 2-1 in penalty time, and they leak a goal that was actually deflected into the net. So instead of having a 2-1 win on the road at Sunderland, they end up settling for a draw, which almost feels like a loss, to be honest with you. I had it rated out at 7.3. He did play the full 90. He had 3 shots. He had 2 chances created, 62 touches, 6 in the opposite box, 33 of 41 passing, 3 passes into the final third. He was otherwise very good with a lead side that for times did have trouble putting the ball in the back of the net, but Brendan continues his good run of form for Leeds. Turning now to Aidan Morris, whose Middlesbrough side lost to Watford 2-1. I had him rated out at 7.0. He did play 89 minutes, had 91 touches, 72 of 76 passing, 10 passes into the final third. He had 7 duels altogether won, obviously 7 to 12 ground duels. So, defensively, Aidan was okay. He continues to hold his own in the championship, so much so that now this is going to be his second U.S. men's national team call-up, well-deserved. It's going to be interesting to see exactly how this plays forward, especially when Tyler Adams does come back. Right now, it's all about that position right now with the men's national team, and it's his spot to lose this, moving forward. So, congratulations, Aidan. It's well earned. Turning to Haji Wright, Coventry lost 2-1 to Sheffield Wednesday. I rated him out at a 6.6. He did play the full 90. Did have 4 shots on goal, but he only had 32 touches, 9 of 16 passes, and otherwise he was invisible this week for Coventry. And this is starting to get alarming. Since that brace back in August, he has not scored. And now we're coming into his second camp with the U.S. men's national team, and you're starting to wonder if the form has dipped a little bit for Haji Wright. Obviously, the thing that will make this better for him is him scoring, but it's very alarming with the performance that he's put in for Coventry as of late. But he's still obviously with the national team called up to this camp. And lastly, in England, it's Gaga Slonina, the Barnsley goalkeeper. They lost 2-0 to Huddersfield Town. I had him rated at a 6.6, and usually in losses, you're looking at the goals conceded. If they were bad goals, these were actually not bad goals that he gave up. It was bad defense where he put himself in a position where he had to make those decisions on those saves. It's unfortunate, 2 goals conceded, but he did play the 90 minutes. He had 5 saves. 3 of those were diving. 3 of those saves were obviously in the box. 5 punches. And as we mentioned, 2 goals conceded. And the thing about Gaga is this is going to be a continuing process. It's a maturation process. He's only 20 years old. But you have to like the confidence in which he plays. He is open of saying that he wants to be the U.S. number 1. I have full confidence in his ability to be the U.S. number 1, but it goes week by week with him. And he's got to be, giving us better performances. This wasn't the worst performance in the world, but it also certainly wasn't the best. It's somewhere right in the middle, but this is far and away better than that three game stretch just a few weeks ago where they had that 7-0 defeat to Manchester United in the Carabao Cup. Turning our attention to Italy now, and of course we begin with Captain America himself, Christian Pulisic. His AC Milan side lost 2-1 to Fiorentina. But he did score again on a nice little flick goal off a cross, and that now makes 6 goal contributions in the last 6 Serie A matches. 42 touches in this one, 3 in the opposite box, 25 of 30 passing, 2 of those into the final third, 2 of 3 of crosses, 3 of 3 in successful dribbles. Christian otherwise was the best player on the afternoon for AC Milan. And of course, this game will be known as for the 2 penalty kicks that he didn't take. Listen, guys, everyone knows that Christian takes penalties for AC Milan, but he's also not the type of guy who is going to put his teammates on blast in game. So it is what it is, man. He let his teammates take them. It came back to bite them because obviously they missed him. But, Christian is the type of guy who is not going to, make a public stink. That's just not how he operates. He is a consummate team player. But that being said, if Christian took those penalties, AC Milan wins. They probably win 3-2. And we're talking about a Christian Pulisic hat trick, and not a loss. Turning our attention now to Weston McKennie. His Juve side drew 1-1 with Cagliari. It wasn't a great day for Weston McKennie. He only played in 28 minutes this weekend. I rated him at 6.1, 19 of 22 passes, 24 total touches. But that being said, we're just getting back into Weston McKennie being a regular starter with Juventus. And this thing is going to take time before we start seeing goal contributions from him. Last year, obviously, was the assist leader for Juve. It's going to be a minute. It was, with all the drama that happened this offseason, you had to expect this to happen. But it's good to see him back starting regularly. I fully expect him to start producing goal contributions. And the good news is he's now back with the U.S. men's national team, fully on board for this upcoming camp. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing Weston. He's going to pay huge dividends this upcoming cycle of friendlies. And finally, in Italy, we have to talk about Gianluca Busio. His Venezia side lost 2-1 to Hellas Verona. He did play the full 90. I rated him out at 6.6. He did have 4 shots on goal, 2 of which were on target. 30 of 36 passing, 54 total touches, 3 in the opposite box, and he was 1 of 2 on crosses. He is week in, week out Venezia's best player, and it's a bad look when you're playing for a bad team, as Venezia is. I think they only have 4 points on the season. They're in dead last in Serie A. Good, most likely they're going to drop back down to Serie B. But that being said, Busio still rates out. He's good enough to get the call into this upcoming camp. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does within this full camp. I'm looking forward to seeing him play with better players, and seeing what kind of fruit that bears out, because I have a feeling that Busa with the full national team is going to be awesome. Turning our attention to France now, and I want to talk about Flo Balogun, because his Monaco team did beat Rennes 2-1. He did play 64 minutes and rated out at a 7.3 because he did score a goal, and that now makes it 3 in a row. 3 matches in a row with a goal. It was 1 goal on 1 shot, 26 touches, 3 in the final third. And he had 5 passes into the final third, but in the 64th minute, he got hurt. And it was a shoulder injury, and that's it. He is out. And Mauricio Pochettino has already replaced him with the national team. And this is the worst possible timing that you can for Flo Balogun, because we've said it a bunch on the show that he needs confidence and he needs to keep playing. And this has been a rocky roller coaster for him since he's been in Monaco. And he's been in national team camps where he wasn't in form and he didn't produce. And when this little streak happened, we were saying, we're happy for him because all this is going to do is make the national team better. And now he gets hurt. So I wish him a speedy recovery. And I hope that he can regain that form that made him the U.S. number 1. But all this does is going to open the door for a guy like Josh Sargent. But Ballo, get well and get back into the national team camp as quick as possible. Turning our attention to Tanner Tessman, he did play this weekend, and he only played 16 minutes. And it was what it was. I rated him out at 6.3, 22 of 23 passing. 3 of those passes were into the final third, and he had 27 touches. And this is what it is. It's going to take time for Tessman to adjust. I mean, he's literally coming from Serie B with Venezia last year, and didn't necessarily have a preseason because he was with the Olympic team. I knew this was going to happen. I knew that these type of results were going to happen. But that being said, he did get brought into the national team camp, and he's now got the opportunity in front of him. So I wish him the best, and we'll see how it plays out. Lastly, in France, it's going to be Mark McKenzie. His Toulouse side lost 2-1 to Lille. He did play a full 90, so that's good, but he only rated at 5.7, 49 to 57 passes, 4 of 4 of long ball on the long ball, but otherwise it was not a good day for him. Playing on the edge of a back 3, he kind of got burned a few times, and that's not what you want to see from a center back. A center back that's going to be the main focal point of your pairing this upcoming series of friendlies. You would like to see him coming into camp off a stellar performance. That didn't happen, and it's an issue of confidence. And I'm hoping that this is not a theme that continues for McKenzie. You're hoping that come that friendly versus Panama, he can flip a switch and he's going to deliver. And that is the hope. I think that is the hope of all USMNT fans, especially when it comes to the center back group that is already thin. Turning to Germany, we only have 2 names on this list this week. It wasn't, as far as U.S. men's national team performances in Germany, there wasn't many. Honorable mention obviously goes to Joe Scally. I thought he had a solid representation this weekend. The 2 names we have are Leonard Maloney His Heidenheim side lost 1-0 to Red Bull Leipzig. He played 67 minutes. I rated him out at 6.4, 16 of 20 passes, 3 of 4 on the long ball, 31 touches, 5 recoveries, and 3 of 4 of ground duels. It was what it was for Leonard Maloney. A pretty solid defensive showing. And, these are consistent now. That's one of the things that, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to whether or not you're going to bring him into the national team picture, is consistency and performance, and he's been delivering. And it's nice to see this every single week when we do this show. Those are, these are the type of names that I want to give to you guys as a representation of what we should want when it comes to our national team players playing overseas. The second name on this list is Julian Green, whose first side drew 2-2 with Magdeburg. He did play a full 90, but he rated out at 8.6 because he scored a goal on 3 shots. The goal was a penalty. He had 4 chances created, 48 touches, 27 of 30 passing, and 4 of 6 on clearances. Defensively, he was just a well-rounded player this week. And this is now the 6th straight week that he created out of a 7 or better. And now it's starting to talk. Now we have to talk about Julian Green and his inclusion into the national team, because we have to. I don't want to hear that he's playing in the second Bundesliga, because he's taking advantage of the opportunity that's given to him. He is competing against the teams that are on his schedule, and he is turning in performance after performance after performance. And it's not where you play, it's how you play. Are you making the most of your opportunity? And clearly he is. We are at a point where he should be included into the national team over guys like Yunus Musa, who are not playing, maybe even a Johnny Cardoso, who has actually been replaced already on the national team. It makes 100% sense. And listen, I understand he was a Jurgen Klinsmann dual nat. It's the reason why Greg Berhalter didn't bring him in. But now he's 29 years old, in the prime, and he's making the most of it, and that should be rewarded. As we move to the Netherlands now, we have to talk about the 3 Americans that are playing for PSV. They beat Sparta Rotterdam 2-1. And Malik Tillman pretty much did everything besides score. In a very good performance, he played 83 minutes. He rated out at 7.4. He had 3 shots, 73 touches, 7 in the opposite box, 34 of 38 passing, 3 of 3 on long balls, and 6 of 9 successful dribbles. He was pretty much awesome. And, this is, again, what you get week in and week out with Malik Tillman. He is incredibly good in the Eredivisie. Now, whether or not that translates to the national team, we have yet to see that. But the more that you keep playing, the more that you expect those results to come. Ricardo Pepi played only 22 minutes. That's it. It's unfortunate, but this is the situation with Ricardo. He is playing behind Luuk de Jong at PSV. And he's not going to unseat the captain anytime soon. I rated him out at 6.1, 10 touches, 5 of 6 passing, and that was it. And this is what you're going to get. As long as he's with PSV and playing behind de Jong, these are the results that you're going to get week in and week out. And it simply is what it is. When it comes to the U.S. men's national team striker pool, yeah, I guess it's fine that you can bring him off the bench, in the final 10 minutes of a match. If you kind of need that energy, he's already doing it right now. So sure, why not? And Richie Ledesma played 83 minutes, 7.6 rating, 68 of 71 passes, 11 passes into the final third, 84 touches, 7 recoveries. He had a very good game in this one. But that being said, the context, Sparta Rotterdam. It is what it is. But he rebounded from the week before. So congratulations, Richie. It's nice to see that improvement. And finally, in the Netherlands, it's Paxton Aronson and his his FC Utrecht side beat RKC Valvik 3-2. I had him rated out at an 8.6 because he did score an absolute banger on 5 shots, 3 touches in the opposite box on 53 total touches, 28 of 31 passing, 5 of those passes into the final third, 10 of 14 ground duels, 1 on the defensive side of things. He was absolutely brilliant this one. And this is now yet another good performance for Paxton Harrison. There's a reason where I keep saying he needs to be included with the national team, because he needs to be included with the national team. He has been very, very good. Where Ricardo Pepi has not been good, Paxton has been very good, and yet still is on the outside looking in when it comes to the national team. Hopefully that changes moving forward, because I think that there is untapped potential in Paxton Harrison moving forward, and Mauricio Pochettino should look to him, especially with some of these injuries that we have on the wing. And finally, we end in the Belgian Pro League as we talked about Marlon Fossey. His Standard Liège side lost 3-0 to Anderlecht. I had him rated out as a 6.7. He did play the full 90. He had 2 shots, both on target, 63 touches, 5 in the final box, 8 passes into the final third on 36 of 40, and 3 of 5 on long balls. Marlon Fossey continues to put out good performances out there in Belgium. And of course, that was most notable in the September call-up for him, and now again in October. So it's good to see that Marlon Fossey's performances are being recognized, because they should. So that's going to do it for me this week. Let me know what you think about these players that performed their performances this weekend. Did you think that overall that they had a good performance? Did you think some were lacking? Go ahead and leave those in the comment section. Remember to hit the like button, but also the subscribe button as well, and of course the notification bell, so you don't miss on any upcoming content coming out from Stateside Footy. Thank you very much, and I hope you guys have a great evening. Take care.